As NDP leader in 1979, Ed Broadbent joined the Liberals to defeat Joe Clark's Conservative minority.
I took a long walk in the snow this morning.
He's back, working with Jean Chrétien to broker a Liberal-NDP coalition government to push the Harper minority out of power.
I took a long walk in the snow and I happened to end up here.
But what are you doing here?
I'm meeting with the leader of my party.
Why?
On what?
It's not the weather. It's not my favorite movie or novel. It's obviously about the current political situation. But I'm not going to talk in detail about it. It's already public knowledge. I've seen, I don't know how it became public knowledge anyway, that I've talked to Mr. Chrétien, and he and I both discussed what would be a good situation here for the people of Canada, good for Parliament, and we'll see what happens.
In broad strokes, what is that good situation? How does it have to change?
No, I'm not going to talk about the...
Not even broadly?
No.
Why do you think there needs to be a change then? Why do you think this is the right time to defeat Mr. Harper and look at alternatives?
Well, the same reason as the leader of my party has given. The stimulative package is a joke in global terms. It's not serious at all. Yeah. Nowhere approaches the minimum 2% that's required that other countries around the world are following. So the situation, not just of Mr. Layton has said, but Mr. Dion, Mr. Sepp, all the opposition parties are deeply concerned about the economic well-being of people of Canada. And this government completely misjudged the situation.
Can you give us a sense why you felt the need to get involved?
I did not initiate getting involved. I was asked to get involved. But that's up. Here endeth the lesson.
Why do you think
but just in terms of your experiences, did you ever, in your time here with Mr. Chrétien or Mr. Trudeau, did you have some situations like this, like just the stuff that's on the historical record? Just did you go through some of these ever in your time?
Mr. Trudeau wanted me to go into a coalition government with him in 1980.
And what were some of the things then that you
I learned from that was a majority government, and it would have been a mistake. This is a minority government that would not be a mistake.
So why do you think a coalition would be preferable to an election?
Conservatives say that how can any of these parties talk about forming a government when the Canadian people did not elect them, and plus the Liberal Party?
He said that with 39% of the vote, and 80% of the countries in the world, he'd be out there in opposition. All the opposition parties got a much larger share of the vote than Mr. Harper did.
The other issue they're raising is the fact that the Liberal Party, which would be a major party in the coalition, doesn't have a leader right now. So is that a concern of yours?
No further comment.
How much time do they have to sort this out?
It's been a pleasure to see you all.
This unprecedented coalition would be propped up by the separatist Bloc Québécois.
We'll consider a coalition that would respect more Quebec values and interests. So this is why we're having those discussions.
Sources say the deal calls for a 2-year coalition, with the NDP getting 1/3 of the cabinet seats, including economic portfolios. In return for Bloc support, a promise of more money for Quebec, and French only for federal workers in the province. The Liberals assured Canadians the left-wing coalition would not ruin the economy.
As a former banker, I understand that the global economy, the Canadian economy, is fragile. And so I want the business community, the financial community to know that should we form the government, that the stability of our financial system and of our economy will be uppermost in our mind every step along the way. Why is Canada so different? Why is it appropriate in Britain, in France, in Japan to have tens of billions of dollars of stimulus, in U.S. and China to have hundreds of billions of dollars of stimulus, and in Canada to have nothing at all? We in the opposition believe that the Canadian economy needs support from the government. Stephen Harper does not. That is the essential difference between us.
The people of Canada gave our party a strengthened mandate to lead Canada during the most serious global economic crisis in generations. Since that time, we've acted on our commitment to keep cutting job-killing taxes, business taxes, acted to expedite the constructions of roads, bridges, and other infrastructure, acted to strengthen Canada's already strong financial system by injecting tens of billions of dollars of liquidity into Canada's credit markets, acted to ensure a long-term structural balance in the federal budget, and acted to demonstrate leadership by proposing to reduce taxpayer subsidies for political parties. Our actions have been proactive, they have been responsible, and they have been in keeping with our commitments to Canadians. More so, these actions represent our first steps. In the next couple of months, the government will present a budget that outlines our next move forward, a plan that will include expected stimulus measures worked out in consultation with Canada's provinces and in concert with the other members of the G20. While we have been working on the economy, the opposition has been working on a backroom deal to overturn the results of the last election without seeking the consent of voters. They want to take power, not earn it. They want to install a government led by a party that received its lowest vote share since Confederation. They want to install a Prime Minister, Prime Minister Dion, who was rejected by the voters just 6 weeks ago. They want to install a coalition that they explicitly promised not to support. The Liberals campaigned against the coalition with the NDP precisely because they said the NDP's policies were bad for the economy. And now they plan to enter into the very same coalition under the guise of strengthening the economy. Stéphane Dion and the NDP plan to make this happen by accepting the support of a party that wants to destroy the country. The opposition has every right to defeat the government, but Stéphane Dion does not have the right to take power without an election. Canada's government should be decided by Canadians, not backroom deals. It should be your choice, not theirs. And it's now up to all of us to stand up for the right of Canadians to choose their own government. On December the 8th, the House of Commons will have an opportunity to vote on the opposition's attempt to overturn the results of the last election. Until then, we will continue governing. In the meantime, Canadians can make their views known on this issue to all of their members of Parliament. Thank you very much, and I hope you will all have a good weekend.